Holy crap, boys and girls. I never in my life thought I'd spend this many hours on frickin' Unix timestamps. I thought Unix timestamps were like literally the easiest way in the world to track time in a computer program. That was before I got to Django. Anyways, here is our little chore app as it is so far. So what am I now? This is Thursday. So I started playing with Django last Wednesday, and now this is the app that I am creating with Django. Basically, my idea is to create an app so my wife and I can keep track of doing chores here in the house. Again, when you get to be an adult, time flies by, and it's not really that you don't want to vacuum or take out the trash. You just kind of forget about it for 1 week, or 2 weeks, or 5 weeks. So anyways, my thought is, hey, let's create a little chore app using Django so we can keep track of our different chores and track, when we get the chores done and that type of thing. And so basically we got the chore list here. So this is the list of all the chores: sweep the floor, mop the kitchen, sweep the deck, whatever else. Here's a log for when we complete the chores. And then up here is the chore to do. So basically, there is a schedule for the chores, how often the chores should be done. And so if it's been longer than that schedule time, then the chore shows up here. So I have not dusted in the proper amount of time, or done laundry in the proper amount of time, or done ironing or whatever else. I can go up here to add a chore. So I can just simply put in a new chore. Let's see, take out trash. I can say how often it should be done. Let's say once a week. And then I can submit. And now we have take out trash. Basically, it was created today. It auto timestamps for today when it was created. And we have the schedule. So the schedule is in seconds. So again, we're using Unix time here. So it was 604,800 seconds equals a week. As you can see up here, again, we have the chore to-do list. What I did was just, I added the ability to just have a chore for 1 single minute so that this would actually populate. One of the problems you get into when you start building an app is if I put in the normal schedule time for all these different chores that I want to do, then this up here would basically never populate, right? Most things you only want to do once a day, and many things you only want to do once a week. So how do you know if your chore list is auto-populating if enough time hasn't gone by? So I just take this down to 60 seconds, basically 1 minute, so things pop up. We can see dust. The schedule is every 60 seconds. Last time it was done was January 15th at 3:17. So I don't know. Half an hour ago. The elapsed time is 1,745 seconds. So I can go, oh, okay, I need to dust. I do my dusting. I click off on the dusting, and the dusting is now done. So now I only have laundry and ironing left. We go down and look at the dust. You can see that the dusting was last done at 3:47, which is the time that we currently have. So this is basically where the app is. We can also edit. So sweep floor. Maybe I want that to be different. I can go here. I can see sweep. I don't know, I can just put in like first floor. Then I want to say, I do have to have this auto-populate. This isn't auto-populating right now, but so sweep first floor every 1 week, and I hit submit, and there we go. Now it's sweep first floor, so that's been edited. So this is currently what I'm working on. Past this, basically I want to turn the schedule into a human readable. Because that's the issue in the technology world. It's kind of like with IP addresses, right? An IP address is what the computer needs to get to a server or whatever, but you need something human readable, CNN.com or whatever. So the Unix time code is what I want to use for the back end for actually doing the timing, but then I need to turn this into a human readable thing, so I need to figure out how to do it. The next thing I need to do here too is also create a user system, so you'll be able to log in, so my wife and I will be able to log in, and then with the log, it'll say who did it. So I dusted, she swept the kitchen, so on and so forth. So, because again, adults are so adult. It can stop the arguments before they happen about who's doing how much. I did all the chores this week. No, you didn't. Look, I did 4 chores and you did 5 chores or whatever. So anyways, this is what we're dealing with. The Unix timecode is a complete bastard though. Holy hell. In the Django world, it is just some stuff, right? So basically now you, that will give me the current time in Unix format. But I can't just use that. So like in PHP, I could just basically use that. I could have a function that I could just use. In Django, I can't just use that. So I have to do now you as current time. So it takes the value of now you and turns that into current time so that you have that. Then one of the things we need is math filters, because one of the issues apparently in Django is when you're trying to do if else, stuff within the templates, they give you the ability to add. They give you the ability to add. That's it. They're cheap bastards when it comes to math and Django. This isn't even a joke. They have like add. You can add negative, but then it gets really weird. So if you have a normal number, you can add negative to that number, which gets you a subtraction. When you start dealing with the variables, that doesn't seem to work well. So I literally, with pip, I had to install with pip the package, Python's package installer. I had to install math filters. And so we load the math filters here, and that basically allows us down here to subtract. So let's see here. So we create, so now that's the Unix time is the current time. And then down here within the for loop, so we do with x dot last time / date u. So basically this takes the last time the chore was done, again, turns that into a Unix timestamp, and then we have to assign that value to another variable. So here we can then say if current time, that comes from this Unix timestamp, /sub, so basically filter subtract last time, that comes from here, is greater than the scheduled length of time. So scheduled length of time is this, 60 seconds for dusting and 345 seconds for sweeping the deck. Basically, if that's greater, then print out here. But Jesus. And I want to be clear here. Not only is this stupid, not only is this what the hell, but the documentation on this what the hell is also a complete crap show. I've done scripting for 20 years, Visual Basic, PHP, a lot of things. And Unix time codes, Unix timestamps. I've always kind of thought Unix timestamps were kind of like a lazy cheat. It's like, oh, there might be a better way to do this scheduling, but I'm lazy, so I'm gonna do a Unix timestamp. Holy crap, when you get into Django, holy Jesus, they make you work for your Unix timestamps. So anyways, there's some interesting things here. So again, if you're gonna be doing math within the Django templates, install the math filters module for Python. You have to add that into settings. So you install it into Python, then you install it into settings, and then within your template, you also have to load it here. So you got to do all those things, and then once you do that, you get to do things like subtract. But when you do subtract, you can't just use the functions or whatever. Essentially, you have to assign those as values to variables. And then once you have those variables, then you can mess around with the values to get to that. So anyways, this is... I actually like Django. Like honestly, I'm very much warming up to Django. The more I use Django, the more I like Django. The more I try to learn about Django, the more I hate Django documentation. I swear, it's like day after day. It's not getting any better. It's not like, oh, I've been doing this for over a week now. What I didn't realize about Django documentation. No, Django documentation was hot trash on day 1. Day 7, it's still pretty much hot trash. So anyways, there you go. There's a little chore app. Again, once I do get this finished, I will put it up on GitHub. I think this is a useful thing. And again, this is the type of thing you need to be thinking about if you want to be a technology professional, is how can you create something that is useful, that you will use? Because one of the other big things is, for the usability component, is that you'll actually use it and then you'll see where the problems are, right? If you just build something and you're never going to use it, then you're never going to see the problems. You're never going to see the issues. You're never going to see the weirdness because you're not actually using the product that you created. By doing something like this, I mean, I really am. Like, I'm going to set a little, I don't know, some crappy ass Apple computer over there, basically turn that into a Django web server. And this is just going to run. This is just going to be running, constantly. And so by doing that, like for myself, I get to see, what the issues are, what the problems are, what could be nicer, what could be worse, the whole 9 yards. And that really gives you a level of experience with technology that most people kind of skip over. The other thing to think about too is, once you can design something like this looks like a whole bunch of other things, right? Basically, this is just kind of like an auto task scheduler type of deal. And so one of the interesting things is, again, to be thinking about how could this be used in different environments. So I used to, work in the food world. So I was a pizza delivery driver for many years, that type of thing. All right, a lot of businesses have tasks that need to be done throughout the day. So imagine you take this, you modify it slightly to have a business environment. Instead of having 2 users at home, you have 50 users or 60 users in a McDonald's or in a pizza place or something like that. And then with the log stuff, imagine if you gamified it. Imagine with these chores, not only if you had the chore and the schedule, but if you had a point value for it. And so then your different users, could actually get more points throughout a day or throughout a week or whatever, based off of the different tasks that they took on. And that could get them a bonus or an extra hamburger or something at the end of the week, right? Again, gamification is a huge thing going on right now. And so that's kind of something to consider with this type of thing, is basically how could you, take this simple solution and start building it into something that a business might find to be really valuable. So there you go. I'm going to go off to Hatch's Wine and Cheese and drink some wine and eat some cheese. So with that, again, if you're watching these videos, please give us a thumb up or a thumb down, leave a comment, please subscribe, do all those kinds of things. And with that, I'll see you folks later.